Hello everyone, it's Judy from Coffee Cookies and Books, and what we have for you today is Book of the Month and Aardvark's October selections. It is October 1st when I'm recording this, and Book of the Month and Aardvark have come out with their selections, so we're going to go over them for you. We are going to start with Book of the Month, which is what I always do. And as usual, I will let you know what I bought. I am going to tell you, as far as Book of the Month is concerned, there was one book that I wanted to purchase that were part of the monthly selections. There were no additional add-ons from their one group they have, but I did add on one of the older selections, and I will let you know what that was. And it's one that I have been considering for quite some time, and so I decided to grab it because I literally only wanted one out of the main selection. So let's go over all of these. So the first one is actually the one book that I did get, which is Red City by Marie Lu, and it's a fantasy, and they had it in a limited edition, which just means it's got sprayed edges, which is, that's fine. It usually doesn't have any, no fancy cover, hardcover, and it doesn't have fancy end papers. So, you get it, you get it. I didn't really buy it for that reason. I bought it because I thought the story sounded great. Welcome to the gritty, magical world of Angel City, where power takes just as much as it gives. Not for the faint of heart, this book is gruesome. So it says it's 400 pages, multiple viewpoints, first in a series, and salacious. So it is a new series. This is why they chose it, which is what I do instead of the synopsis, because I find sometimes the synopsis gives away a little bit too much. So I do this. We were instantly immersed in this glittering urban dystopia, which is something I like, urban dystopia. This is the type of high concept world building that doesn't hold back from being violent and bloody. The fresh blend of sinister crime syndicates with powerful alchemical magic made for complex original characters with page-turning life or death stakes. Lu's writing is elegant and quotable, capturing fast-paced battle scenes and subtle emotional transformations with equal finesse. So it doesn't sound like it has any romance in it. Sorry, losing my train of thought there. That doesn't have romance, but it does say in the content warnings, this book contains mentions of child abuse, sexual assault, and suicide. So I think that is important. This sounds to me like a bit of a grimdark fantasy as opposed to a romantic fantasy. So, which was why I purchased it, because I have enough romantasy to sink a ship. So, I like to get a little bit of the other stuff every now and again if I can. So I did purchase that one. The next one is romance, and it is an early release. It's called Never Over by Clare Gilmore. And it says, what should you do when your songwriting creative juices stop flowing? Sign up to get your heart broken, of course. So the points that are good to know, it's a non-linear timeline, has music in it. It is salacious, and it is a second chance romance. So why they chose it? This swoony second chance romance delivers with its multidimensional characters. We had a front row view to our heroes' individual growth as well as their sizzling chemistry. We loved spending time in Nashville's vibrant music scene. Reading this book felt like being surrounded by songwriters and street performers on every block. It was empowering to root for the ambitious female lead as she pursued romance, career success, and personal development on one emotional journey. So there's that. Are there any trigger warnings? No trigger warnings on that. So that is that book. And then the next one, which I considered this one. I didn't put it in because I'm going to wait to see what people are saying about it. And it is The Haunting of Paynes Hollow by Kelley Armstrong. It is a paranormal thriller, which I thought sounded interesting. The quick take. What should be an idyllic homecoming turns into a horror made for Halloween when the past refuses to stay in the past. So this is a slow build, which is one of the reasons why I didn't get it, because I'm not a fan of the slow build, unless it's good. So that's why I'm waiting for reviews. Anyway, slow build, action-packed, which is good, supernatural, which I like, and creepy. So why we chose it. This clever spin on the legend of Sleepy Hollow hits exactly the right notes for spooky season, from disturbing family drama to bone-chilling paranormal threats. We couldn't help but root for the brave, stubborn protagonist as she battled her way through several generations worth of inherited secrets. The eerie, hallucinatory writing had us questioning not only the narrator's reliability, but also our own. Is that really a headless horseman over there, or are we just imagining things? That was that one. I thought that sounded great. Content warning contains mentions of suicide. Next book, this is YA Gothic. It is Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews, and this is an early release. The quick take is mysteries, lies, and deceit grow out of control, literally, in this unsettling atmospheric horror. Not for the faint of heart. This book is gruesome. So they have that tag in there. It has LGBTQ plus themes, forbidden love, nature, haunted house. Why we chose it. The pulse-pounding mystery with evocative writing and a creepy Gothic setting is the perfect spooky season read. We loved the emotional enemies to lovers arc, where forbidden foes must rely on each other in order to survive. The inventive imagery here felt like nothing we'd read before. This unnerving botanical body horror isn't afraid to get graphic, and the content warning says there's mentions of child abuse. Fifth one, they actually have 6 this month, so this is the 5th one. This says Magical Realism. It is the Second Chance Cinema by Thea Weiss. Quick take, now playing. Your fiancé's emotional baggage up on the big screen. Pack your popcorn and your tissues. So this has romance, it's inspirational, emotional, movie-ish. Why we chose it. This compelling creative love story begins where most romances end, digging deep into the hard work of building a happily ever after. The titular cinema has just the right amount of movie magic, creating a world that feels grounded yet escapist at the same time. We love this novel's thought-provoking themes about the risk and reward of excavating buried memories and what it really means to choose someone's future alongside their past. And there are no content warnings for that one. So that's that one. That sounds like a mix of magical realism and romance. And the next one and last one is The 10-Year Affair by Erin Summers. This is literary fiction and an early release. The quick take, this witty story of 2 couples in small-town New York asks, does cheating count if it's only in your daydreams? Okay. It's millennial, snarky, salacious marriage issues. Why we chose it. We were captivated by the unique sliding doors plot structure and how it invited us into the narrator's most personal daydreams. The literary voice is sophisticated, subtle, and wryly funny, with a keen awareness of the tiny social undercurrents that drive our relationships. Reading this book felt like eavesdropping on a juicy gossip session about your neighbors. We couldn't get enough of the scandalous social commentary and smartly observed satire. And there are no content warnings for that one either. So that is everything. Now, the other book that I did get, I decided to purchase after much thought, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, the reason that I decided to get this one is because it is hugely popular. I have not read any. I think I have one of her books that I actually got for free from the book outlet. It was one of their promotional things that they were doing, and still haven't read it. I think it's One True Loves. So I have that. But Daisy Jones and the Six is a very popular one. So I thought, because it seems to appeal to a broad range of people, that I would get that one and I would try it. I've purchased it and we'll see how I feel about it. I'm still kind of on the fence with literary fiction. It's not my biggest genre choice, but I bought it. And I decided to just give it. And so I went with the one add-on. So I just bought the 2 books, which was the one fantasy, the Red City one, and the Daisy Jones and the Six. So those are the only 2 that I bought. Okay, so that's it for Book of the Month. Now we are on to Aardvark. And Aardvark has 7 selections this month. 2 are interrelated, and you'll hear about that in a minute, shortly, when I get to it. One of them is an Aardvark original. We're going to cover that one first. So there's a lot of great books, and I did get a full box of 3. So I'll be mentioning that as we go along. The first one I wanted to talk about is One Bad Night and Other Stories. This is a collection of various Aardvark authors. So the note from the team, which is the only thing that I'll read, because I'm not going to read anything else. Aardvark Book Club launched October 2022, and since then, we've been cultivating a healthy obsession with all things horror. We're celebrating our 3-year anniversary with this original anthology featuring past 8 Aardvark authors. So the authors that are included are Kay Chronister, Del Sundin, Kylie Lee Baker, Rachel Harrison, CJ Lead, Jennifer Thorne, S.A. Barnes, and Stephen Graham Jones. So this is a collection which includes a blue foiled hardcover underneath the dust jacket. This title is exclusively available through Aardvark, so you cannot buy it on Amazon, and it is a 272-page horror collection of short stories. And the content warnings is there is dog death in One Bad Night by Stephen Graham Jones. So that's the only content warning that they've given, but I thought that sounded interesting. I did not include it because I typically don't like short stories, but I'll wait to see what people are saying about it, and hopefully I will be able to grab it again another time. Sometimes you can with Aardvark, and sometimes they get sold out. So the next one is Saltcrop by Yume Kitasei, I think is how you pronounce it. And it is a sci-fi, that's what it says. Now, I didn't get this one because it just didn't yank my chain. I'm usually a sci-fi person, but this just didn't kind of do it for me, so I didn't get this one. But it is 384 pages, so it sounds good length, not too long. From the acclaimed author of The Stardust Grail comes the epic tale of 2 sisters who sail across oceans to find their missing third sister and Earth's environmental salvation. In Earth's not too distant future, seas consume coastal cities, highways disintegrate underwater, and mutant fish lurk in pirate-controlled depths. Skipper, a skilled sailor and the youngest of the 3 sisters, earns money skimming and reselling plastics from the ocean to care for her ailing grandmother. But then her eldest sister, Nora, goes missing. Nora left home a decade ago in pursuit of a cure for failing crops all over the world. When Skipper and her other sister, Carmen, receive a cryptic plea for help, they must put aside their differences and set out across the sea to find and save her. So that's all I'm going to say. So I don't want to give away the farm, but that is that one. I mean, it sounded interesting, but I did not read The Stardust Grail, and I've seen reviews that some people like it, some people didn't, and I know that is also science fiction based, so that might be something that I might try first. Anyways, didn't pick this up, but I'd be curious to hear what people think about it, for sure. Next one is one that I actually featured for, I think it was September, October, is All of Us Murderers by K.J. Charles. And this is a mystery Gothic LGBTQIA historical fiction, 352 pages. Content warnings is ableism, homophobia, and references to sexual abuse off page. I forgot the content warnings. Oh, this was the reason that I didn't get Saltcrop. Is content warnings is cannibalism and mention of suicide. I don't like the cannibalism. Not a huge fan. I can read it, but I'm not a huge fan. So it kind of stopped me a little bit. Okay, so let's go back. Sorry about that. But now that I read that, went back, read that. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get it. Okay, so All of Us Murderers by K.J. Charles, which I've left up on the screen for you, is a lush Gothic drama of Crimson Peak meets the murderous intrigue of Knives Out with an LGBTQIA plus love story to die for from award-winning author K.J. Charles. Who will survive Lackaday House? That's it. That's all I'm going to do. It says it's an early release, so I guess it was in my October releases, so it must be coming out in October, but that's that one. Next one is The Mad Wife by Megan Church. This is historical fiction, includes a cat. Content warnings are stillbirth and forced institutionalization. This is With Odes of the Bell Jar comes a searing historical suspense following a 1950s housewife who, when a mysterious new wife moves in across the way, begins to unearth dark secrets about her neighborhood and her own mind. This gives me shades of the Stepford Wives, if anybody's ever watched that. And I mean the original movie, not, I think there was a remake. Anyways, this has creepy vibes, kind of like that. It says, in the 1950s, nothing is valued more than conformity. And Lulu Mayfield has spent the last 5 years molding herself into the ideal housewife. But after the birth of her daughter, Lulu's carefully constructed life begins to teeter. Exhausted by expectations and haunted by tragic memories, Lulu looks to her new neighbor, Bitsy. Bitsy, also always the model of perfect housewife, is not quite what she seems, and Lulu knows something dark lurks beneath Bitsy's constant smile. There, I thought that sounded interesting, but like it says historical fiction includes a cat, but it doesn't say thriller or horror, so that's how come I didn't get it. Anyways, well, again, we'll see what people think about it. So then we have, which I'm not going to say a lot about, but we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is the Aardvark edition, and I think it's got the ombre cover on it. I purchased this. So it's romance and it's fantasy because it's actually paranormal, right? So in Bride, I think she's a vampire, he's a werewolf. The love story, I'm actually reading that, Bride, finally in October. I have the paperback, but I have purchased this edition because they also have Mate. So I'll put each one up for you. I want to read Mate. So I've purchased the second one. And the reason I purchased Bride is because I want the two to be identical. So they're matching pair. Yeah. And I'll just sell off a paperback copy that I'm going to read this month. And so this is romance and fantasy. So this is in the same world, but a different couple. Okay. So like interconnected romances, it's the same thing. A human hybrid and an alpha were claw against the bonds of fate in the highly anticipated companion novel to Bride. Selena Paris is orphaned, packless, and one of a kind. Coming forward as the first human were hybrid was supposed to heal a century-long rift between species. Instead, it made her a target, prey to the ruthless political machinations between weres, vampires, and humans. With her enemies closing in on her, she has only one option left, if he'll have her. As alpha of the Northwest Pack, Keowen Alexander commands obedience. His authority is so absolute. Only a fool would threaten his mate. It doesn't matter if Serena doesn't reciprocate his feelings, nothing will stop him from keeping her safe. I think that sounds great. I mean, I like paranormal, vampire, werewolves, all sort of things. So, and of course it's October, so what a better time. So I have gotten those two together. And then I've also included this next one, which is a horror, and it's called The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre by Philip Fracassi. It doesn't have any content warnings, but I will read you the synopsis. I thought the synopsis sounded great. Brimming with dark humor, violence, and mystery, The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre is a blood-soaked slasher sure to keep readers guessing until the very last page. Rose Dubois is not your average final girl. Rose is in her late 70s, living out her golden years at the Autumn Springs retirement home. When one of her friends dies alone in her apartment, Rose isn't too concerned. Accidents happen, especially at this age. Then another resident drops dead, and another. With the bodies stacking up, Rose can't help but wonder, are these accidents, old age, or something far more sinister? Together with her best friend Miller, Rose begins to investigate. The further she digs, the more convinced she becomes there's a killer on the loose at Autumn Springs. So I thought that. Now, I mean, it says it's gory and everything, but it also sounds cozy, which I know is crazy, but I loved the sound of it, so I picked up that one. So that is actually the last one for us to go over. And I think it's a great selection of books. And I'm super excited to get the 3 that obviously Bride I'm going to read already. If I get this version, I might read that instead, but and keep the paperback nice and pristine for resale. But we'll see. Unfortunately, Aardvark, I'm in Canada, and I find that it takes a while for Aardvark to get to me. But if you're in Canada, you can absolutely 100% get Aardvark. So I have links to both below. I'm not sponsored by either Book of the Month or Aardvark, and I don't get any benefit from Aardvark at all. Book of the Month, I think you get a credit or something like that when somebody joins through your link, but that's it. I just like to recommend these because I think they're both wonderful ways to purchase beautiful hardbacked books. Okay, so that's it for today. I think that hopefully something in there is something you're going to like, and I'm not sure what the next video is going to be. I'll figure it out sooner or later. And I would really love it if you could like and subscribe. If you made it this far, put a pumpkin emoji. If you don't want to comment, a pumpkin emoji will do fine. It's Halloween. You could even put a pumpkin and a ghost. Use your imagination. Put a ton of stuff in there. Love it. There's this one person that I listen to all the time, Tiffany from the Beach Bum Bookworm. And whenever she replies to me, I get like a string of emojis and I laugh every time because I think it's hilarious, but it's like her signature and I love that. So I would love it if you could do that. If you don't want to comment, emoji will work fine. And that's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day and we'll see you in the next video.